Hi, beautiful people. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to be sharing with you today one special AHA formula for you to make happen whatever you dream, whatever goals you have, whatever aspirations, things that you want to make happen in your life. I'm going to give you my 3-step process. Now, it's based on the AHA acronym. A standing for ACT, H is standing for hack, and the other A is standing for actualize. Now, you've seen some of these videos maybe on the channel. You know, I'm really big into self-actualization. I like to look at this place where spirit meets science. How do we use brain power, brain brilliance to really achieve amazing things? And I focus on a variety of topics like how to become an amazing speaker, paradigm shifter actually, how to use rhythm and drumming in your therapeutic practice and or in your own personal morning routines or in just your life in general to advance consciousness, how to really build a business, how to become socially conscious and become a social entrepreneur, someone who makes a difference, pioneering leadership. I have many different topics. You can go out there and have a look at the different areas of videos and the different topics, also a whole bunch on divine femininity and how to really be the best version of yourself. As you know, you need to put in some of this time, and today's video is no different. But today I want to talk to you about the real great wisdom we have in many teachers from around the world who are telling us about self-mastery, right? And this is a big topic, because unless we learn to master our own minds, we might get overrun by all the stimulation online. All our digital kind of life and careers are taking over, and we are getting hyper-stimulated. And so we're finding it harder to persevere and perform well. And those of us who hack that, as I'm going to show you in my AHA formula today, are really able to do much better. And I'm going to share with you 3 things. Now, the reason this video is coming to you is because I recently heard a really interesting set of professionals talk about performance, and especially this very struggling time we have when we are having to persevere and get to our end goal. Now, you've all had that time in your life, I'm sure, where you decided you had a New Year's resolution and you wanted to lose weight. You started off day 1 really well. Maybe you did 3 weeks even well, but then you started losing motivation. And a large part of that has to do with comparing our results now with the ultimate result we wish to have, right? And sometimes when we do that, we can get very demotivated, and we also can lose hope, or we just feel like we're not really moving fast enough. Now, there's this wonderful adage. It's always talking to us, the cliche about, life is lived on the journey. Smell the roses along the way, learn to enjoy the journey as much as the destination. And so today's video is a lot about that, but I'm going to give you these 3 tips on how to do that. So let's get into it. And if you want to know more about why you should listen to me, watch some other videos, okay? So first tip I want to give to you today is really the reality check that for most of us, we have a heart in us when we are doing absolutely anything. And it's very true that we make our heart suffer unnecessarily when we are comparing what we desire with what we have now. So the first thing I want to encourage you to do is to just take the action. So under the first A for AHA, I want you to remember ACT. Now, how do you act? There's many different things that you can do to take action, but they don't always work. And I want to give you 2 amazing things I discovered in my life. The first was from one of my speakers at the Women of Truth conferences in Rotterdam, actually. An amazing lady from Kenya was telling us all about her life when they'd lost everything. And she really wanted to put her life back on track with her husband, and in fact, lived this big dream of going to the Netherlands and setting up a business over there. And she gave us this entire speech, and the speech was called, guess what? Get set, go. And that's my trick for you, is I want you first, when you think about acting, either you take this piece of advice or the next one I'm about to give you as a kind of mind message, a little thing you can repeat in your mind. Some people call that a mantra, right? Like, how can you just say in your mind, get set, go? Even if it's in front of your computer and you have to plan a few things, you say to yourself, get set, go, and you just do it. Or maybe you have to write a list of all the things you have to do, and you start procrastinating, or you start getting worried and you start thinking you're never going to get there, the more you do that, the more you make your heart suffer. This is in fact mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, one of the ancient sacred texts from the East. And it's explained in deep detail that the suffering we go through as human beings is really because of this desire, which puts our brain too much into the future and not enough into the here and now. You know all those stories about how to really practice what you have and how to really, notice the journey along the way that I just mentioned at the top of this video. This really is what makes us struggle. So when you just get your mind focused and just go for it, you need to have a little mantra to hook onto to help you. This is one of them. Get, set, go. So that's one thing you can remember. Another one comes from Mel Robbins. She did a great video where she talked about this amazing technique where you count backwards from 5 to 1 4 times. So we're going to practice it together. And again, it's a very, very special way to use like a kind of mantra, a kind of memory trick here to get yourself going. Okay, so you just say to yourself, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go! And you go for it. It's as simple as that. You need to just play with yourself in order to motivate yourself. This is a very, very good step for you to be taking to start making those dreams happen. This is how you take action. Point number 2 is all about hacking. Now, I'm big on brain science, and I've done a lot of research and worked with a lot of people who get very stuck for very long periods of time. And I know there are some very treacherous and tragic things that can happen in our lives that also keep us down for a while. Wherever you are in that, I want you to know my heart goes out to you if you're suffering right now and you're struggling in your life. And if you're watching this video, I really hope it's going to help you with even just the simplest hacks that I can give you to get yourself out of that hard, tough grind. Now, even if you are on a bit of an upswing and you're not struggling that much, these hacks are still powerful to practice. In fact, I suggest you practice them anytime, anywhere, anyhow. They work to really push the brain out of fear, out of doubt, and out of all kinds of procrastination. And there's a few of them here. So I'm going to give you just 2 of my top ones. It's around writing lists, right? So I call this hack for the A.H.A, the H part of A.H.A, which you all know is all about getting illuminated and getting deep insights into your life and how you can do better. And hack stands for hack because you're going to hack the part of you that would normally automatically take you into a state of stuckness or fear or doubt or uncertainty. And this happens a lot when you start thinking about what you want to achieve. Sometimes we forget about the real juice of that thing we're trying to create, how we want to be feeling, how we really practice all these manifesting techniques, but we forget how we need to focus on what we have already in order to do that. And I'm really big on that. So the hack for this time is for you to write a list about how you want to be feeling when you experience this beautiful destination you're going for, right? How do you want to be feeling? I want you to write a list of those feelings. Another list you can write is a list of all the things you are grateful for in yourself that can already show you that feeling and or take you closer to some of those feelings you are aspiring to. So 2 lists, choose which one, do both, up to you. Write a list about how do you want to feel when you get to your destination. How do you want to feel? And make sure you make no comparison with how you feel now. Just write the list. This is a hack. It's going to go deep into your unconscious. If you keep doing it, it will actually start to unhook you from a lot of doubt and uncertainty, because you'll start to notice that you realize you have some of that feeling sometimes in other areas, or maybe in a similar area, or maybe you notice it in other people, and it starts to come closer to you as a felt reality. This is a very important thing to do to hack the unconscious. Trust me, 25 years clinical psychologist, I know how to hack the unconscious. I also know how tricky it is to get stuck in automatic patterns of behavior and habits and ways of doing things, and how to sabotage yourself. So make sure you go and watch my other video on the brain and how to sidestep self-sabotage, right? I have a great video on that. Go and check it out. And there's lots on the brain there, all about what we call distortive thinking, negative thinking, and how you can short circuit all of those difficult thought patterns. This is one of my prime treatment methods, you could say, is to start hacking these habits, right? And don't expect results, don't look for results, just do the action. That's actually what we're practicing, right? Is how to not focus on the destination, but just be present here with the journey. You do the lists and you just keep doing the lists, and you take the action and you practice my third step now, which is going to be looking at your actualization in very specific ways. This is about reflecting. Now, I want you to really realize for a moment that whatever you're aspiring towards, your goal, your ambition, your big dream, it's all about helping you become someone that you believe now you will enjoy being more than who you are now. So I'm going to say that again in another way. This aspiration you have, let's say you've always wanted to be a prime windsurfer and you never started windsurfing. And now you decided in your 40s you're going to give it a bash, right? And you start lessons, but you realize, oh my gosh, it's way harder than I thought. What am I going to do? I want you to think about, who are you becoming? And I want you to start a journal or a diary or even just a list where every time you notice a part of you that you like in yourself, in the way you're doing something and how you speak to somebody, I want you to write it down. It's very important that you write this down when you truly, authentically feel it. If you get very practiced, you can do what I do now, which is really just brainstorm a list and then just really feel into that list and really activate those feelings inside of you. But until you're there, or if you're doubtful or still not so much in love with yourself, or you're careful, or you don't think this is going to work, or whatever else you're carrying as your baggage, then do it only when you feel it in the moment. But now you'll have to search for it if you're not practiced. And this may be one of the toughest grinds in this whole video, is how do you start to realize the beautiful you that you are becoming, and not only who you will become. Yeah. So you see, there's a very subtle level of discernment here. How can you begin to truly appreciate who you are becoming, not only who you will become or who you will be? This is another way of hacking your sense of time, your sense of planning, and your conviction to persevere, to pursue, and then to finally deliver. Because one big problem we have when we are going for a goal is that we tend to put so much more energy on the gap between here and there, and our mind tends to fall through the gap. There's an amazing law by Parkinson, who actually studied outer space, who told us some very, very fascinating information about black holes. He said there are these huge pockets of negative energy out there in outer space. I don't know if you're aware. And in fact, there are more spaces of negativity out there than there are of actual positive vibrational frequencies and manifestations in matter. What does that all mean? It means that out there we have a lot of negative space. And what happens is that whenever there is a negative space, the easiest thing for that vacuum is for it to absorb negatively charged atoms. Now, my beautiful people, if you are someone in the world looking to achieve certain things, or you have certain goals or certain ambitions, or certain things are driving you, but you tend to go into a lot of negativity, especially about yourself, when you have a big gap between where you are now and what you want to achieve, the very moment you have a negative thought, it's going to get absorbed into that negative space, and it will just suck up even more negative thinking. It will generate more negative atoms of you and the way you see you in a negative way. And you will think another thought about how badly you're planning things, or how much terror there is in the competition out there, or maybe, the elements, the water, the sea is not in a good state today, or you don't feel so good, or maybe you're going to get whacked off your board like you did last time, if we keep with that windsurfing example. If you're starting a business, if you're going to be a speaker, if you want to buy a car, if you want to change careers, all of this applies. Who are you becoming? Can you keep a constant, consistent, honest journal about the wonderful achievements you're making on a day-to-day basis? No matter what they are and how small they are to you, they are significant, because every single one is a positively charged atom. And every single positively charged atom is in a direct opposition to every negatively charged atom, or thought, or feeling, or behavior, or action. If you are driven, pardon me, from a negatively charged state of being, and you want to get somewhere because you hate something, that's not a great way to do it. It's much better for you to build on what you love, appreciate, respect, and if you're not even there, neutrally acknowledge in yourself. That's going to get you there. So, my hack for you, 3 steps. First one is all about taking action. Remember, we spoke about get steady, ready, go, right? As though you're about to start running. That's when you sit behind your computer, you're not sure if you're ready, you wobble, you check everything online, switch it all off for 90 minutes, get set, go, start working. Or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4 times. And then go. And step number 2 was all about hacking. How do you hack your habits and your negative processes? Is you start working with gratitude, appreciation, looking at things that you like about your life, what you already have. And you also write a list of the feelings you want to create into the future that you would love to be feeling. You don't do any comparison. My 3rd step for you was actualization. How do you look at who you are actually becoming? How do you actualize every single day? You write a list in moments where you truthfully feel, I am noticing that I'm becoming more kind. I am noticing that I am more willing to accept help from others. And accepting, receiving are all about being able to stay more open to this wonderful thing you hope to achieve. Because there's nothing worse than wanting something, being full of desire, but your auric field is shut down. You're actually resistant. You're not very aware that you can achieve it, and or you don't yet see the goodness in you. And before you know it, you've actually started shutting off, shutting down, and detaching from this thing that's coming towards you that looks a little unfamiliar. So you need to be training yourself to receive, to stay open, to be positive, to attract positive experience, to attract positive atoms. I hope this video has helped you, everybody. I hope you've become intrigued to find out more about how you can do all of this, and you want to maybe check some other videos that can help you. And if you need any help, or you have a comment or a question, type it down below and I will get to it very soon. I'm wishing you all the beautiful luck, joy, and happiness that is possible for you in your life, and for you to stay open. Check out some aura videos. They'll be uploaded pretty soon in the end of summer, and I'll be very happy to be sharing some energy work, energy healing with you, which is my whole new area. Very excited about that. Take care, everybody. And if you want to join any of the live webinars, just check below these videos or check out a few others. You'll see we have lots of things running ongoing. Thank you so much, and may you be well. Bye, everybody.